Your chest tightens, your heart hammers against your ribs, and your mind completely flatlines. You've just locked eyes with an attractive stranger, and suddenly, standing on a normal sidewalk feels exactly like stepping onto a brightly lit stage without any clothes on. If you listen to the internet, you already know how this ends. The consensus is that modern women despise being bothered in public, and the traditional cold approach is a dead relic of the past. But a strange contradiction emerges when you look at the psychology behind these interactions. Women actually do want to be approached in the real world. What they are viscerally repulsed by is the terrified, frantic energy most men project when they finally do it. The failure of most approaches doesn't happen at the end of the conversation. Right there, the rejection is usually locked in before you even reach the end of your very first sentence. It starts with the first major mistake, initiating contact with a hesitant, hovering energy. This often sounds like a quiet, "Hey, excuse me, can I ask you something?" This timid behavior sends an immediate subconscious signal. It makes you appear like a beggar trying to take something, her time or her attention, and causes her to shut down instantly to protect her space. To see the difference, imagine that same woman walking past you, but this time her bag slips off her shoulder and spills onto the concrete. You wouldn't shuffle over to her and politely ask for permission to speak. You would close the gap with zero hesitation and grounded authority, because you know you have something of value to offer her. Approaching with that baseline level of conviction overrides her defensive reflex. It communicates that you have something worth hearing and earns her attention from the start. Even if you manage to walk up confidently, the next trap is what you say first. The default instinct for many men is to lead with an overwhelming compliment, saying something like, "Oh my God, you are absolutely gorgeous." Rather than sweeping her off her feet, this creates immediate discomfort. Her emotional guard shoots up. By worshiping her right out of the gate, you broadcast your perceived status, telling her you view yourself as far beneath her. Surrendering your social leverage in the first 3 seconds guarantees she will treat you as an annoying subordinate rather than a potential romantic equal. Now, suppose you navigate the opener perfectly. The tension settles, she smiles, and mentions she's heading home from her job as an accountant. This is where the panic sets back in. Instead of exploring the reality of being an accountant, the man's nerves take over, and he immediately asks, "Nice, where are you heading now?" She says the gym. Once again, he abandons the thread and asks, "Cool, where are you from?" This rapid-fire topic switching signals that you aren't actually listening. It communicates that you are uncalibrated and quietly drowning in your own anxiety. Think about how you talk to your friends. If they bring up work, you stay on work. You tease them, you dig into the details, and you playfully challenge the subject until you find an interesting angle. Rapid-fire questioning functions as a psychological retreat rather than a conversation. It signals that you are desperate to flee the tension required to make a real connection. All of these mechanical errors stem from the exact same psychological defect. To fix the approach, you have to address the root cause of the panic. Consider this. If you walked up to a woman you found entirely unattractive, your heart wouldn't race, your mind wouldn't go blank, and you wouldn't stumble over a single syllable. The nervousness only exists because you are placing a total stranger on a pedestal. You are projecting her as a higher value human being whose approval you desperately need to acquire. Until you value your own identity over the physical beauty of a stranger, your subconscious insecurity will continue to hijack and sabotage your interactions. The internet cynics will claim that none of this matters, that only looks count, and women only want top-tier men from dating apps to approach them. Of course, physical attraction obviously plays a role, but grounded, unshakable confidence can successfully override a woman's initial reflex to reject a stranger. Achieving this state requires the samurai strategy, committing entirely to the interaction with zero hesitation, accepting that it will end in either a decisive connection or a swift strikeout. The reality is that you cannot read your way into this grounded state. You have to earn it through repetition, by making mistakes and deliberately leaning into the discomfort of rejection. Handling that tension builds a level of social resilience that digital filters cannot provide. It is a necessary, practical step toward moving past the safety of a screen and finding a genuine human connection.